Yeah, it's a long old way across the pond, and you don't want to be left flying back again after just a matter of days, so they're going to have to give it all they've got. From all the way down under, it's Renegades taking on OG. Let's get into the swing of things then. Fast out mid for the OG squad. Right up connector, it's pacey, it's quick, it's in your face. And they even get spotted over on the short side. But are you ready for this many bodies out through Con? A little window boost as well. In they come, and Sicko, it's very awkward. He's getting run down, he's getting hounded. And it's only good for the first. Bomb dropped out in the open. Gonna give a little bit more time to Hatz's flank, and Liaz pushing in through spawn. Will that time be capitalized on by the Renegades?
Well, Flame's already off to a strong start. Maui wanted 20 kills. I'm sure he'd pull higher, but, you know, how many rounds are Renegades going to get in a game like this is definitely the question for us right now. Maybe not even the pistol. Valde ready to lock him out. Liaz has helped out from CG. Valde wide, and Hatz follows up on the big flank. Nice shots off the Julies, leaving the in-game leader tucked in at jungle. And they don't know. They think it's a con side. It's where the plants fall. They start to move in. It's a fake. He's one, but Hatz trades. And I think there's just enough time for this defuse. Big round out of Renegades, and a bit of a miscom or a misunderstanding for Valde that his CT was so open, exposed on that wide ramp angle, and the last second defuse for the Renegades. Yeah,
you know, obviously, we covered Pro League throughout 2020, 2021. Hatz was a phenomenal pistol player. Not that we watched much of the Oceanic region, but the reason I bring it up was, you know, when we were like going over the best moments from the year right at the end, he had one of the plays, man, and it was a phenomenal pistol round. I'm sure you remember it. Inferno, he like aces in the pistol. He's always had a talent. He's always has a talent in those rounds, and so Renegades are going to use that to their fullest to hit the ground running here on Mirage.
Yeah, brings out 2 pistols, man. He's doubling down, and a double kill in it. And we do have this force, of course, OG coming in, not with disrespect, but just with confidence, as they should be, blooming with it, running wild out ramp. Flames has already made it to jungle, and Alistair, the locking doesn't fire, unless they expect it. A bit of a choppy spray, though. He's low on ammo, they're going to hunt him down, and Valde will get that trade. Middle is taken. If a jungle smoke comes in, it could be locked out, but a bullet will do it just the same. 4 on 3, these 2 AKs leading the way into the bomb site. And with all this mid control, the option once again for another open plant is prevalent. Renegades, will they allow that plant to come in? They throw a retake smoke, but they're taking their time. And that gives position for OG as they spread out off the plant.
Well, Valde, one of these AKs still fighting, and that dink, you know, could lead to his nade rains in, but just falls a tiny bit short. Regardless, Liaz is still going to pick up the kill. And honestly, you know, you take an AK out, sure, you can try grab that. Nexa even taking an M4 out, and yeah, they managed to retrieve it. I was wondering if Renegades were going to keep peeking, try deny the, you know, the weapon retrieval for OG. Instead, they give them a bit of respect, and they write this round. You're going to win the 2 on 3 with the bomb planted open with so little knowledge as to where those T players have gotten to. You know, the world's heavily against you at that point in time. And so the force buy back in works wonders for OG. Flames a big part of that over towards the A-bomb site, right? Running amok over in jungle. And so the response is immediate from Nexa's OG.
Yeah, a couple rifles all they need, and that's what Renegades would love right now, but it's a FAMAS, and that saved them for Eagles around on the rest with Liaz on an MP9. And leading B heavy are Renegades. Trying to poke their head into middle a little bit, but OG, they slow it down now. They know they have the control, the economy in their favor, so want to work mid slow and steady. Coming out from under, Nexus sees nothing. He calls the path, it's clear, and even a molly to make sure no one can get weird with it. Mid is free. In fact, OG will be bringing everyone to this position. Nico leaving that A default and coming to join his teammates up top. Meanwhile, Renegades are playing more retake towards A. Alistair moves back to connector. He's been smoked off, though. He's not going to be able to come in with too much help in this round as the opponents walk up on the short side, getting ready to split the B side. It's Valde up in the apartments alone. OG in no hurry to commit, though, and Alistair goes ahead of the smoke. Oh, seems like he wanted the headshot so bad he knew a couple of shots wouldn't be a kill. Nico low, will live to tell the tale, swing out window for Hatz, and he finds 4. That's filth. The one M4, and it might have just done it all. Valde backing out a B with no bomb and no hope, and Alistair ready to close.
I love the response from Renegades as well, right? Immediately pushing top mid, gathering the guns, playing the bomb, and Valde in a world of hurt. Hats, mate, go forth and prosper, my son. Go get the ace, screw it. How many chances are you going to have to do that at KATOWICE? Right now, him and Alistair pushing through lower. Hats wants it, wants to try and deny the save, but Valdez looking good to get away with the AK. That's at least something for OG. But a lovely round out of Hats, you know, only helped by Alistair's little bit of earlier damage over in Con, right? Drawing the attention and making them very, very paranoid about that Con smoke. And in that exact moment that everyone's looking away, everyone's, you know, starting to focus on taking these other alleyways that lead out of middle, that's when Hats comes in with the swing. They were not expecting this, right? Just brutalizes them as they line up in top mid.
Was that first kill in mid-air? It looked like it, pretty close. Might have just hit the ground, but blimey. Back to B for OG. They didn't hold in middle as well. They won't have a choice this time. Single spams to smoke to find Nexa. The rest of OG getting ready to pummel. Hats is here though, man of the moment. He's going to drop his smoke back up bench side. They already drop in, killing Liaz. He couldn't get behind him. They're up on the side. Nico with a blind kill. Bomb's going to make its way to default as well. Now, Flame just taking so much space in this round with the Mac-10 pushed up close market. Renegades, who would not be, again, saving in a position like this. OG not facing, doubled up on bench. Renegades at least staying around to look for retake potential, but with no kills presented, already players starting to bail. OG looking for a second, and Alistair is still throwing himself into the frying pan, but eventually will need to save. Can live in the back of market with this kind of plants. The end of the world. Exits are the aim of the game. Renegades trying to soften up their opponent's money. Alistair only had a kid. Everyone's left through apps, and Inns is farming right now. They will live with more men than the opposition. Renegades are fine, but OG are doubling down yet again. These force buys have worked well.
Yeah, I mean, even though they lose that round, I've got to say, I'm thoroughly enjoying the cooling thus far out of Renegades, right? It's still very early days, but I think in a lot of these rounds, right, like the pistol, having the patience to wait for Hats to activate that flank and complicate matters was a big reason as to why they pulled that back in a 2-on-3. That round there, the decision was pretty immediate, like, okay, we're not going to win the round, but what we can do is make it a damn expensive round and still come in with a better investment than our opponents in this one. They're playing for the future on the side of Renegades. And I mean, if they're able to find success here, suddenly, you know, it's almost like that last round didn't happen, and you're right back down in the dumps if you're OG. So, you know, Renegades, that they played for the idea of breaking the money here in this round, and so they're looking to get it over the line. It's a slow mid creep from OG. Very, very kind of respectful. Very slow early on, a real change of pace out of the OG squad, right? Thus far, it's been quick through middle whenever they've tried to take it. Lots of smokes, lots of flashes to telegraph it. This is a lot more measured, waiting to see if they're given anything early on. Just testing what the responses are from Renegades when there's silence all across the map. And now they poise for the B split. This could be the perfect time to do it. You're still 3 strong on that A-bomb site if you're Renegades.
Oh, Nexa almost sees that window player, and it's for Renegades. They still haven't worked this one out, but they've taken a lot of info. They're jump spotting apps. They've even cleared ramp out with no mid information. This is going to be a perfect play for OG to tweet and nade, but still only 2 players at this bomb site. An aggressive retake setup already happening. The Nexa's here to cut it down. The entries are in, double down for OG. 4-on-2, and the site and round is concluded at that point. Renegades, they didn't want to make any super proactive rotations other than Alistair climbing up middle to catwalk from Con, but he didn't know the Nexa had already made it ladder. OG find a good bit of space in middle, and with a B pop, Renegades are forced to save. 3-2. But already a very back and forth game, as you say, and you know, imagining Renegades are going to buy in off these 2 guns, so it might still be a way in for more force buys.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to be paying very, very close attention to how how Renegades go about this mid area, right, in this follow-up round. Because that round there, they didn't see anything early in mid. They kind of up and leave it entirely, just playing a 3-2 split between A and B respectively. And oftentimes, if that's the case, if you're going to give up middle and take a move, you know, a kind of gamble like that, there needs to be some sort of trade-off, right? And so usually that comes in the form of maybe a bit of ramp aggression, trying to take Palace away. And with none of those decisions getting made, with none of those triggers getting pulled, it left a real kind of asymmetry of info for RNG, for Renegades. You know, they didn't know that mid had been compromised in such a dire way. You know, Alistair literally dies rotating catwalk to a Nexa that he never knew was in ladder room. He had no idea that that could have been a possibility. And, you know, that even kind of leans into the idea as to why they were split 3-2 still in the first place. Yeah,
they did pop flash ramp and clear it, so they had a bit of information, but yeah, it didn't seem like they were aware of just how much space had been taken. And yeah, OG, who have played pretty respectably in the middle area, not ready for Nexa and ladder, but that's fine. It's one round. They're already starting to piece together things as OG build into this T side, and just a confident B pop. Didn't even really need Nexa to get that kill, but it's certainly a helping hand to force a save. And In's got caught out top mid as well, right on the exit. If you caught him there, he was not in a nice angle. And so Nexa was able to find him from ladder. Some techs. Oh, don't worry, we've got all the admins on the sideline ready to sort things out. LAN is back, baby, and it's more beautiful than ever. Want to draw attention to some of these fine facial hairs that we see over on the Renegades. Alistair, he's got a nice stash going.
Look at all the notes as well. Yeah. Everyone's got like a page or three to reflect upon, and I imagine, you know, that kind of that is a lot of, you know, personal work, but also work from behind the scenes from the coaching staff involved, right, to give them ideas as to how to approach their positions, who to be on the lookout for, what tells you might get.
Well, yeah, because while we had, even on the desk, they were saying, like, yeah, if you're OG, you really are just playing your own game, right? Not only are you the favorite, but there's not a lot to go off for Renegades. You know, they've been playing in Europe a bit recently, but you know, it's the first official with Liaz as well. He got added 2 days ago. I imagine he spent some prac time as Malta, you know, hasn't played since November. But on the flip side, it's like, yeah, Renegades, I mean, you know, you're hoping that OG ended on Mirage and they were fine with that middle ground, but OG have only shown 3 maps. So if you were going to prep for one of them, it would be this. And so hopefully Renegades have a good bit of info to set themselves up for a game like this. It would be nice to see some upsets. At the same time, we definitely want this new form OG to look clean. They'll do their best, but boost it up. One gun gets it done with a double. Nexa and Flames gone. Heavy hitters out of the round. Valde going to try and Alistair. He is a dead man. It feels inevitable. Nade and spray will do just fine. And OG still a man down, but there's only one gun in play. And you'll notice that Nico has moved into top mid. This is so important just to stop those AKs getting retrieved. Doesn't want Renegades to take some space. Instead, they're going to have to lean back on a gamble. It will be in that A site where Liaz and Sicko sit. And that's exactly where OG have rerouted towards. The question in this round is Nico's lurk timing. How proactive does he want to be? He's been given all the space in the world.
Yeah, the one thing that makes me a little nervous is, you know, like with him, I guess hoping to spring out from middle as the A play's coming in. You could try and use him to cut down rotations. And if that ends up being the decision, I think that could really come back to haunt OG, especially with this rifle set up in CT spawn on Sicko, right? 2 to his name already. And even if Nico hits a timing up through Con, he's going to be hard-pressed to help out with the CT players. So it's very reliant on these side guys winning these fights, and Sicko's put up a third. The bait and switch between him and Liaz. The trap sprung inside of this A site, and now Nico's had to rotate into connector. Bomb plant for Mansu. Plug in the numbers. Rotations now coming in, and Nico still in con. This is something Renegades are considering, right, as they rotate in. They're going to have to clear him, and Nico winning that first. Makes it the second, and Sicko's got to come in with the ace in a 1v2. Fleet flash, it's a peek, and Mansu swings on into him. But it will be an OG round at the end of the day. And I think, you know, if you're OG, you're very, very kind of You're very breathing a bit of a sigh of relief, rather, I guess, at this point, that you're finally able to break that round apart. It got off to a very worrying start with Sicko doubling down. And, you know, for a moment, I guess it maybe felt like you were going to have a repeat of the Hats round where the hero gun just does it all. It delivers.
Yeah.
Got to give credit to Renegades as well for constantly setting this M4 up. Like, the rest of the gang knew they didn't have a lot to offer in the round. And so they do everything they can to create opportunities for that one gun.
Yeah, on the flip side, perfect luck play for NiKo, right? Even though he doesn't get any kills in the pre-plant, he gets in position to set his team up for an open plant. Had cover, smoke under for Sicko. He has his own, but it was thrown from far away, so they might not know he's there. Flash will give it away, though. He's going to try and escape the second smoke of his own, get back to default as these T's get around. In the meantime, a nade did destroy them from, I think it was Ins back in spawn. So OG, they've been lit up quite heavily, and with this myriad of smokes, a third now thrown on the A-bomb site. OG go, we don't like what we see. Even if we want to recommit to A, let's go quiet first. Maybe the fear will set in. Nexa recommit. Molly under, though, and no one's there. Sicko's abandoned the position. He will swing, and Sicko is looking sick indeed. Heavy hitter for this team. And starts off with a 5-on-4. And look at Renegades now, 4 players leaning A. They won't be here forever, as said. It goes quiet. You're always going to start doubting yourself, looking for lurkers. And while Valde is walking down middle, the bulk of OG moving back to the site. They know there's no more smokes, but Sicko doesn't care. Swings the molly, finds another. Ins jumps away, or Liaz rather, on stairs. And now Valde, if he wants to win this round, well, there's no chance. He's been locked out of mid, and a 5 alive with Sicko on 3 kills. Renegades, I'm liking these setups right now. The interplay is really good. Well-used util. They don't wait too long to the point where they don't get to pop it, even though they're dropping so many smokes early. OG was so committed to that A site, they never wanted to go back and look elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like the kind of core of this team have been together throughout multiple rosters, right? On the side of Renegades, these guys have a good tenure together, a lot of history there. So you can imagine with that comes a great deal of synergy, and oftentimes, you know, it's that unspoken synergy that's the strongest. It's not having to worry about the micro. You just know how your teammates are going to play ahead of time. You know the kind of, you know, way they like to take these engagements and how they like to play, and that familiarity.
Especially with Molly down. Don't want to be close peeked. Try to clear the kitchen, but it's fine. The AWP locks in the apartments. That frees up this double ramp setup. Oh, bit of info for Alistair. He saw a player go under. That's something here. He can call that over. They can get ready for the A play, but that means Liaz has a lot to do. It's allowed Hats to be freed up to rotate, and now Liaz can watch on the connector. Renegade's trying to get this spot on ramp. The smoke will slow it right down. And still more util on the A site. We'll see if it comes in or if OG pops the smoke right as it fades. Down again. Buying as many seconds as they can now on the A site, and you can see Renegades know exactly where this play's ending up. Alistair just showing the smoke short from B to keep the 4-man presence on A, and OG once again are relying on a lurk. Valde needs to play into the round earlier as he has support from Nexus and the Deagle first. They could even boost up. Hats is watching the cross from CT though. Scope heard on ramp, another nice grenade out from the A site and mollies, but OG don't have time to waste.
Yeah, they've got to go, and they've got to go now. 2 for 2 over inside of the site, right? And now Liaz is trying to hold on over in jungle. His way, and with help from Hats, the saving grace, Renegades just need to beat, and they run him down. They don't give him the room to clutch that one out. They don't give him the respect to reposition, to get into a spot where he can win that 1v3. It's very decisive, very quick.
Yeah, and I gotta say, Alistair doesn't do anything in terms of kills in that round, but the info he gets, just seeing that one player go under and nothing else with a deep B angle, sets his team up, right? The setup completely changes. They re-aggro close ramp, they move Hats to watch CT, and even though Valde gets boosted window, Hats kills him from the CT gap. It frees Liaz up to stop Nexa, rather, in connector, and then chase down NiKo on the bomb site. So yeah, just a lot better setup there for Renegades. They seem to be starting to be a little more proactive on this CT side, and OG getting fought off by a heavy A setup. Here again, only Deagles on the other side. Ooh, don't want to give that pixel gap anything to work with. Alistair now owns it. Oh, it's scary. It's scary, all right.
Oh, don't give them the AWP. Don't give them the opener. These are all things that are bouncing around in Alistair's mind right now. And so he's just going to tuck on in. Ooh, will eventually drop on down. He decides, yeah, the last thing I want to do is be that first domino in a lost round to fall down versus the Deagles. So he plays it safe.
Oh, I love the swap up as well. Hats got up and they didn't see him because of the smoke.
Shouldn't matter, right? This play's coming in through Con, and with Flames getting that opener. Twins of all people, someone who's been pretty instrumental here in A. It's really softened up this defense. Now, do bear in mind that Sicko's gone very aggressive all the way through Palace and is now flanking ramp with the AWP. It's not the ideal gun, but he's got the USP out, mate. He knows that these are just Eagles. They're armorless and afraid, and he's going to take him down with a double. Nico started the round off over towards the apartments. Did damage to Alistair, but there's the revenge of that AWP. You should have finished him off when you had the chance, Nico, as he comes back out and closes out the round in Renegade's favor.
Yeah, very good stuff. Keeping the pistols under control, even though that was an opening kill from the Deagle onto the triple player of Inns. It's still going to be Renegades keeping it clean with 3 up. Those are sometimes the hardest rounds to win, especially when you lose to the 5-on-4. And they can really waterfall out of control very quickly. Not going to happen for Renegades. A timeout for OG. They want to get ahead of things. It's a very comfortable map for both teams here. But Renegades undoubtedly have the experience over OG with this current roster. Obviously, individually, it's unmatched, but new in-game leader and a lot to keep in the back of your mind if you're OG from that. But their blast performance was, at the end of the day, very good. Can't turn your nose up at a flawless run. Double AWP for Renegades still. Sicko back on triple. Alistair hits the cat jump. He knows that OG aren't out. Getting flashed off now, he's got to concede. And look at the pace. I love the change-up for OG. It's the same aim, same game, and they're going a lot quicker through middle.
Yeah, because we've kind of seen two faces to this pace in mid, it's almost caught these players at short unawares. Next, are getting out to the stairs, and now in position to deal with the AWP. Instead, it's Mantu stealing that one away, and even following up onto Inns under Palace. Dire straits now for Renegades. Missed shot from Alistair. You're not going to get many opportunities to get back into this round. OG shouldn't be overfacing, shouldn't be giving those over. And with smokes down, time to plant is now. Spam everywhere, man, but nothing connects. Valde dodging bullets and still trapped within the confines of this A bomb site. But if nothing's found soon, it's going to have to be a bow out of the round. And Renegades, that kill's going to entice you. Going to keep reasons to go. And Valde takes all those reasons away in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, he uses that smoke against him. Renegades have been throwing that a lot, right, on the triple cross, and that's mainly because when they're conceding the A site, it's often coming off the back of these connector splits, right? Nico or whoever is coming up on flanks, so they try and cut him off, but it blooms a little wide on triple, and Valde just sits behind it for a double kill. I also love that play from Mantu, very quick. Even though Sicko, who clearly been communicated by the short player that, yo, they could be up con, they could be through the smoke onto stairs. It's a play that often catches CT players off guard, but Sicko is trying to check that angle. He just got cleared by the fast ramp. And OG, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Back to mid with furious pace. Alistair goes ahead of the smoke and hits a flip off the bomb. Huge info there as they get up catwalk. Nico will still refrag to Liaz, and that's going to force a fast B-rotate for Alistair. His teammate's on his own. Hats drops one, and everything is everything, but Valde will not allow it.
Alistair here, right? Good start to the round. Might be kind of quiet on the AWP right now, but the opener, if that's anything to go by, a couple more shots like that could make all the difference. Alistair's posted in a duel with Mantu. In a bit of a standoff between the short and market position. It's grinded to a screeching halt in silence for the moment as smokes it down. Mollies as well. Renegades. They start to tiptoe out, they start to trickle in, and that AWP on short making its presence known in a very big way. And it's commed across to Valde. Third guy just got out. I couldn't hit the timing. He's definitely in the sight, and so a bit of smoke spam goes a long way.
I love they give Mantu the room there, right? No one's facing. They just smoke themselves off. They beckon them into the AWP, and Renegades just walk right to their own demise. It's really safe for OG, that kind of setup as well, because it just means, like, Mantu was initially holding short. It just means that we are not going to give you a reason to go for this. If you want to save right now, you can just give us the point. But if you do go, by the time you're in, it's too late to change your mind. You're committed into the AWP. Next, will burn out Sicko early in connector. He couldn't get back through Con in time, but ultimately this is just a flat eco. Keep it as clean as they can. Their money is far from perfect. They're at least doing the work they must. 3 kills coming in. Liaz hiding triple. Short player might re-peek. Right now, no eyes are on it, but that should swiftly change. OG have more than enough manpower. Liaz is the top. They'll gun him down. And Alistair, 1 frag, but surely no more. OG looking for a 7th on the T side, and they're very comfortable indeed. Nice spam to find it. Renegades not going to have an AWP here unless they go glass.
Yeah, I'm really curious what this solution's going to be to some of the mid-control elements that we've had from OG. You know, like, it might not be a bad time to see Renegades attempt some sort of, you know, double mid setup, you know, like one of the players holding lower, someone kind of out on their island in top middle. There are ways you can try to deny this this mid-control, right? Because thus far it's been fairly standard. It's been AWP peaks from Alistair and Con. He's tried that a couple of times, but the molly's been very consistent to force him out of that position. Window smoke's been nullifying that. So, you know, he's feeling kind of hard-pressed to get too involved right now, often having to push through Con smokes to get involved.
He cat-jumped last time he had the AWP as well, if you remember he had the spawn, but that is just such a spawn-based play. You can't go for it if you have, like, well, right now this spawn, he definitely can't go for it. So, you know, that's always awkward. He's going to lean A instead, try and play for the end of the round. But, yeah, it's definitely looking to be a problem here in middle. Nex selling this. They went for this round earlier. The B-pop with Nex trying to take ladder on his own. He'll be a little later this time. He's not even going to commit. He's going to go back to B. The fear is instilled and the rush is in. Hats is here, caught behind the pillar and the smoke, trying to free fire bounce. Pops his noggin and into Liaz. Will frag out to back out, giving away a 4-on-3 and trying to play retake. Dangerous position for Inns, gets picked by Mantu, and suddenly OG are back in favor.
Yeah, this plant is coming in, and there's very little that Renegades can do about it unless Mantu were to swing and give the bomb over. The AWP drops it out in the open, and now it's in the prying eyes of Renegades. They know that they've got this B site right where they want it. The 3-on-2, the pressure's on OG, and if you hit the timing right as they plant, there's chances that the 3-on-1 is in the site, so they attempt to take them. It's a solo peek to Valde, and he's good for the opener. Meanwhile, over here on the short side, Liaz is going to attempt to sneak on in. But they swing it together. Very room, and Valde closes it out with 4, taking him to 17 kills already. Still early days in this first half, and Valde's showing that he's not messing around. There's not going to be a slow start from him today.
Yeah, that was sick for Valde as well. And you love the call from Nexus to just swing the cat player. They knew that, you know, with no more players peeking out of market, like they knew there was max just the AWP there, and it had to be apps Frank or Cat because one player solo jumped out window. That was enough knowledge for OG to read the situation here, and this kill from Valde. And they just chased down Liaz on Cat, leaving the AWP locked out. Eats a nade on the exit. 8-5, and another broken buy for Renegades. They may have started strong, but reality has hit. OG boosting window early. They found a gap. They're not going to commit with it. Previously, it was Hats holding from CT. He goes back to do the same today, leaving B completely open. They've seen enough fast rushes on the B-bomb site. They're hoping OG go back into more standard con splits. And it is the same round, except heavier in middle and just coming out of ramp. Back turn for Alistair. No knowledge from Inns that they were already up connector. It's a good grenade, but it's of little value with so many players coming up on this mid-split. Flames can activate as well. He's now cleared window. He's not going to wrap CT, but he will just stay with his team. Another kill. Nico activates from ramp, and this is just going to be easy pickings for OG as they dice up the A site.
Yeah, it's a really nice feeling as well to walk into a full stack like that. You learn about it after the fact, like once the round is over, and you still got out so cleanly. That's a real confidence boost. OG here to play. I mean, you know, on the verge of closing this out with a kind of staple T-side, a lovely spot to find yourself in. If you 10-5 this, you're laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah, not deterred at all by, you know, confident, competitive start to this game for Renegades. That has definitely slipped through their fingers, and OG are just keeping up this pace. Ever since that switch up where they did the fast con split, they have been going so quickly, and Renegades have not been able to react in time. Man2 picks ins on the swing, and they find Alistair and CT spawn the hard way. That's Valde cut down, Nex is up in ladder again, causing commotion, killing a window player. And OG, they'd love to back out, but they just have such good position towards it. Nex is fragging out on the other side of the map, so at this point, that's a danger. Man2 goes out ramp with the bomb on his own. Palace player being held, but not forever, as Nico finds the timing. Alistair will be kicking himself, and Liaz trying to show what he's got in the clutch.
Yeah, was a 1v3, and having dealt with Nexa on this wrap, he thinks it's giving him more freedom, but no, the flash set up, and I do love that out of OG. The last thing he expects, blindsided, a 10-5 half for OG. They're fully geared, now moving into the CT side. Oh, the fire's going to keep being lit beneath them, or can Renegades bounce back and steal
to
this
the floor and speed up that T side. That was slow and slow, a 5-5 initially, and OG run away with the end of the half with some very audacious B takes, some con split. Just a lovely bit of Mirage calling for Nexa. We know he likes to go loosey-goosey, and they are going to run all over Renegades on their T side. Now we flop over. Renegades get the start they wanted. They get to show their hand on this T side, and they have a lot of util, replicating the pace. Quick to con and a flash to the face of Man2. He's tucked in with a crossfire, and this will just be the standard A split for Renegades.
Good clear, bullet, and Man2's dead. Oh my! They've jumped out the window, they fall behind Hats, and he's dispatched off over at short. It felt like the idea was to plant for him, being concealed in ladder room, but now the chances to do that are gone. It's a good flash to set Liaz up. Alistair has given them a way back in with that flashbang. Liaz able to capitalize. Oh, sicko mode as he taps out flames. Can he take any more scalps? Can he find anything else? No, the trade for Nexa. And now he's in a world of hurt. His teammate dispatched of Nico, dead to the Glocks. Has left it all on the man at the helm of OG, but he's gone deep, he's gone close, and Nexa, they try to swing together, but he's gonna close it out with 3. Nexa going above and beyond the Call of Duty to find 11 for OG, and a pistol round under their belts now as well. This CT side is off to a rip-roaring start.
Dude, ever since Nexa joined this team, it's been so nice watching him let off the leash, right? He has been a serious injection of firepower, which is a surprise to say. You know, you have some real heavy hitters in Flames and Valde, and even Man2 in this team, but man, this guy comes in and he flexes on Mirage. He did it back at Blast. He's doing it again. 2 insane pre-fire kills for Renegades. And also, I love the reaction. Like you said, it was trying to be that cat plant for middle, but Renegades, they don't hesitate when they lose that space. They flash CT, they hunt down OG, but still a sneaky little clutch out of Nexa to lock in a pistol, and Renegades' hopes and dreams fleeting in this BO1. Gonna require a monster comeback. And all set off the back of the Force. Renegades planted. They'll get Galil's in. But OG have come to expect this, and their head down lower with rifles. Flame won't give it up. Nico's going to set him up instead. Smoke, and even a flash when he swing with that. Yeah, he goes for a peek. All damage done from the top of middle. Two still going to get traded on the way out. Can't escape window from under. 4 on 4 now. Renegades will take what they can get. OG re-smoked the middle. That bomb is dropped top, though. So how do you want to get that? Do you want to walk through the barren path of mid? Don't get re-peaked, or will it be a full reset? They might not have time to think about it. They're focused on A right now. Nex is moved in to try and anchor down, dropping Hats. Nico's ready for that mid re-peak, and as said, with the bomb still open, at any point, if Nico peaks, he might see that. He might get that info. Renegades are just going to try and regroup. Go back for that bomb. Sicko Reroutes from Palace to ramp. And Nexa has gone all the way from Sydney into this position. Shadow spot won't help. Sicko takes a 3-on-2 and Renegades have to split together.
Yeah, grouping up, going towards A. I don't know it yet, but this was the perfect move to make in this round. Nico, the only guy who could have a say in this A play at all. And with the con smoke now going in, that's opened up the short side plant right on this side of triple. Nico with the first. Liaz gonna try and swing him. Yeah, we'll decide against it. I like that move, right? The last thing you want is to give this over, take a loss there, and then be left in this horrible spot. Instead, they go hunting for Valde. And now Nico all alone. Liaz, great maneuvering around the triple box, right? Considering he was basically in the site the whole damn time, Nico was never aware of it. No matter where he repositioned to, no matter where he's able to look at, he never located Liaz.
Yeah, mid-routing's looking good right now for Renegades, right? Obviously, we had questions about the cooling with Malta out of this team and with, you know, Inns taking things over from the outlook at least. And, you know, right now, I'm liking some of the calls. We already talked about the synergy on the CT side for Renegades was definitely there. You know, these guys have been a long-standing force, so it's right now it's looking good. But OG just have that flair, man. They have that oomph, that firepower that they've been flexing with. Right now, it's going to be put down to pistols.
I'll say this much though, like in terms of the setups, in terms of the kind of formations and positions that we see out of Renegades, it gives them a tremendous amount of trade potential, right? And what that means is like in these rounds where they get the first, so often they just start to like snowball out of control, right? Because everyone was set up to play trade in the first place, to play for the protocols of OG. And actually, I think that's going to do them a world of good over on this T side. I really do. Inns with the opener. Valde back at B. He's happy that they finally come his way. But his smile is wiped clean. Nicely spotted and dealt with on the short side. And it is his next left of formality as he goes pushing in. 7-11. And yeah, just keep your eye out for these setups, man. So often you'll know that, like, if someone's firing off, not only does it feel like they're never alone, but there's so many more pieces ready to pounce out and catch, like, the standard responses to plays that can happen. Like, when you lose a mid player, not uncommon to peel away from con, you know, try to take an approach where you can hold for a window boost. Whenever that happens over towards A, we've got a Palace player holding the fort. Oh, well, if he dies, you know, then you've got a guy over towards ramp ready to swing, try to extend and take a fight over on that side of the map. So just watch these setups. I really do think they're quite beautiful out of Renegades.
Yeah, we've seen the strain of the new Deagle. I say new, obviously it's been some time now, but the strain of it, it's like, you know, reps of dumbbells right now. Valde just having to re-peek and tap them out one by one. Renegades spot that heavy CT setup, and they decide to frag out. They don't care. Nice isolation from Hats. Picks those ticket players, or sorry, those box players before the ticket players. Someone definitely called 4 CT and everyone just swang. A lot of players were just up and leave at that position, but only pistols, not a huge fear. And, you know, with that comment about the Deagle, it's why we're seeing so much more CZ usage, so much more 5-7. Cheaper and at times better, man. Obviously, you hit the heads and suddenly you're laughing all the way to the bank, but it's never so easy. Valde just delaying the inevitable, pushed in off of B, looking for an exit and a gun he can grab, but Renegades not giving up a thing. And suddenly, this game's got legs on it, mate. They win the fours. They get rid of the double eco. And 8-11 ain't too bad after all.
Yeah, and you know, mate, like in that first half, Valde might have been causing you a lot of problems. He might have been really irritating to deal with. Him and Flames, like both able to kind of find a lot of room on the openers that they get. But over on this CT side, especially with him kind of leaning over towards B, playing over towards the apartments, you can just avoid it. You know, like you can just look for these avenues elsewhere on the map, make him uncomfortable without ever even having to fight the guy. And that's a good bit of power to have in your back pocket with the game that Valde's having, right? You're the one able to dictate when and where these fights are happening, and you don't have to play into the hands of the guy that's been shredding you so far if you don't want to.
This is a massive round here for Renegades if they can win it. OG want to cut the head off the beast before it starts tearing them apart. Don't give Renegades reason to believe. Orbs are out twofold. Mantu v Alistair, both bottom performers of their team right now. Definitely had some impact rounds though from Mantu's Orb. Alistair not really able to frag too much over towards B with his. And as we saw in that first half, Renegades was just locked out of middle, man. They could not get that space or information. Often let them down. So, let's see how Alistair decides to use it. Resetting back at spawn to get the bomb. It's back to an A split here for Renegades. Standard round. Throwing in a late window smoke. Gonna give them a bit more room to maneuver out middle. Don't have to worry about a retake while they take connect. Top con smoke. You'll often walk through this. Flames, he'll decide against it. Inns is going to be up to this mid lurk. Liaz has reset to join the pack, and Inns can wait here for some time, being on his own. Mantu's dropped Alistair. There's the head-to-head, so out ramp they go, and Nexit dead from default is giving them a way in. It's going to have to be a retake setup. Flames has dropped the lurker, though. It's perfect. And now, if Mantu just gets a shot and drops off, OG can set up for a retake.
Yeah, he doesn't even have to fight if he doesn't want to, right? That's the advantage that the Flames has just given them with that frag over in Connector. And so he will just set up around the idea. Control, but that's a little awkward. Flames, it's only a dink. It's not the killing blow. And so what was a 4-on-3 retake has madly spiraled out of control and now hangs in the balance. If a kill isn't found soon for OG, if a reason to go for this round isn't presented, you're going to be left saving. And they might have already made that call. Is this the reroute into ladder, or is this them writing the round off? They don't have kits, don't have util, and you might not even get past jungle. So much time ticked off the bomb. It is just a save, and Mantu won't get away. Valde up on top of the cinder block should at least get this M4 out of danger.
He loved the AWP though. He wants Hats to, come in. That was a call. Like, Mantu, you jump across. I'll try and hold on if they chase you. But Mantu never made it, so why chase? Why go for it? Valde can now no longer get the AWP. And that's a really awkward round for OG. It felt like it was all going so right, but I don't even want to call it over-facing on Con, because while they were waiting for their CT players, it's fine for Flames to take fights there, because you're feeling invincible right now. Flames is having a good game. He's hitting his shots, but like I said, a dink. It looked such a mess for Renegades. They were blocking each other on default, on triple with the bomb out, and the Flames right there just gets destroyed by Sicko, who has had a really good game. And suddenly the round flips to the favor of Renegades, as does this score. 9-11, 2 behind, but a broken bye. This feels inevitable to be double digits unless Valde can do some serious heavy lifting. And I almost like a round like this for OG, because now Valde, who, like you said, was destroying on the T side, and it's going to be a lot harder to do that in the second half. Now his team can play for him. Now his team,
it's
much as how
fully
Sicko,
setting him up, right?
Much as how
the
Sicko had that 3K round, he got boosted under, he got baited for under bout. I want to see OG do something cool with this M4 today. And so they do. They boost him ladder.
Yeah, he still kind of wants these pistols to be the ones taking the risks, right? There's no reward without risk, but it doesn't mean you have to take the biggest one. In's creeping down with this con smoke, and now a little window smoke to supplement the mid hit. It's very slow and steady for Renegades, right? They don't want to get ahead of themselves. They won a round with this exact buy in the first half, with Hats 4K'ing from windows. So they're trying to keep it measured. They're trying to figure out where this M4 is. Can they locate it? The smoke's going to fade. There's a timer on it. That molly forces the reposition out of Valde, but that's why he plays the cinder blocks. He can get himself back into ladder pretty much unscathed. But now he's been seen. I thought they saw the legs as he comes down. Instead, Inns just looks away at the wrong time. You spot the M4, and now you call for the immediate B hit. You say, look, mate, he's pinned in ladder room. He's stuck here for now. Let's get into B. Valde will continue putting on a show in middle. There's guns to be picked up, and suddenly OG have armed themselves. This little ragtag militia led by Valde has pieced together one hell of an arsenal to attempt this retake.
No kit, though. They've got to be real quick. The legs get spotted. Alistair boost up, and he still kills the lower player. 1-for-1 might be enough, but you got to buy time. You can't die instantly, so Sicko tucks in at the bench. Swings, and both of them in-sync headshots. Lovely team play. And Mantu with the AWP would love to save, but he's been overwhelmed. Sicko swapping spots, and Renegades with a very pretty post plant. That was similar to the one we saw out of Valde and Nexa earlier on the B side, where they both swung cat together. Liaz makes that call. Sicko believes in it. And also, I got to bring up Liaz again. It's someone we've not spoken out a lot. He snuck into first place in this team. He's actually looking really good, really decisive, was playing Con on the CT side, such a hard position to stop, considering we saw all those really fast Con splits from OG. And yeah, Liaz is looking good in this team so far in his debut. Sam will be happy.
Oh, he will, mate. He'll be smiling away right now. I can feel the beam and smile of Kassad looking onwards. Another one of these slow-paced rounds for some Renegades. Trying to see what OG want to do with the rifles. Oh, Mantu's in a very bad way, but Nico swings and wins. Double up over in mid. One hell of a way to turn that from what should have been a really rough spot back into the favor of OG. They spot this little jump spot out of Nexa. Nades, attempting to get traded. Spam doesn't find him yet. Just a little bit of chip damage. Liaz now lurking out through middle.
Any round for Liaz to deliver exactly what we just hyped him up for. It's going to be one of these. His team are out right now. All clear from Flames. Check out under. Sicko's on top of triple, but his teammate's gone with the bomb. Sicko has everything, and Nexa will not allow it. Anchored down in A for a double, and saving all the guns, including the AWP as well. So 12-10, and OG put a stop to it. Things were getting awkward, things were getting scary for a second, but OG, even if it's a close game, remember this is a comfortable map for Renegades as well, OG still won that win. It's a BO1, puts them right up in pole position to qualify for the main event.
Faster through middle. More pace on this, right? Not much more pace. It's still ultimately done pretty quietly, but oftentimes, you know, the mid players have been very reserved. It's more been about denying the info to OG. This time Ins quick on the catwalk, and he struts his stuff down middle. So back in CT, the hero of last round is good for another to open up this one, but he's lost his teammate. So once again, it's all eyes on Nexa to stand and deliver. The molly always trapped him in. It's burnt him out and forced the reposition from the man at the helm of OG. While this is happening, Valde, take a look at the minimap all the way through T-spawn. And so at this point, if you want to get maximum value out of this, these guys in CT need to stay alive and need to draw the attention in. With Nexa facing so heavily, Mantu's lobbing flashes, you'll note, isn't really peeking too heavily on the back of it. Swings out for one, but now concedes. He's done his job. He's got the attention away from Valde, away from the flank. And so it's given even more room to Valde, the prince, the king, next in line to the throne, to come in on this wrap round.
Oh, no way.
And try steal it away, but this is weird now. Hats has seen the barrel.
I like how he's not hunting this kill. He just knows he's got a free frag eventually. Mantu can't wait forever, and Valde, the bomb is making its way back out of ramp. He hears the pickup. He moves out, but the CT swung him, and Liaz turns on a dime to take the kill. OG falls short with 3 up for Renegades. I don't know how they recover that round. I gotta say, partly it's Nexa, man. He, like you said, he just had to buy time. They already had him trapped in. He was already low. The CT smoke was nice for a moment because he could spot players moving around, but he couldn't get the clean kill. But as it fades and he doesn't drop off, that just gives Renegades room. And I like how much they hunt Valde just to find out where he is. While they have Mantu trapped, they're looking at jungle. They're checking their ramp flank. It felt like they weren't going to consider Palace. If Valde went earlier, maybe there was a way in, but he hesitated. He stayed, he waited.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like this kind of links back into this idea of like the fundamentals and kind of like the willingness to wait for your opponent to play into the traps that you've laid is really nice for Renegades. And I think it kind of goes hand in hand with the mind game that is this series, that is this BO1, right? Because coming into this, the expectations aren't on Renegades. People would be very happy if they're able to win this, right? But no one's looking at that going, clear and above, hands down favorite, should be Wreck-It OG. No, they're just focusing on fundamentals right now, waiting for the responses. And OG, because they are meant to be the better team, they're trying to play with confidence. They're trying to take peaks that are a little ballsy at times, and it feels like that will only dig the hole deeper.
Yeah.
You just don't want to admit to yourself that you're no longer in control of this game, right? You're not the ones leading the charge in a big way anymore. It's not 10-5. It's been a long time since that first half.
Yeah, we gotta remember, Renegades, their last game at the major was, you know, against Mouse Sports Mouse playing against their old in-game leader, Dexter, and they managed to win Mirage in that series. They lost the series, they got eliminated, but they still beat Mouse on Mirage. That's something to be said for that. Remember, that was still with ROPS, so it's just it's a respectable, you know, scalp to take for Renegades, and right now they're looking to do it against OG as well. This has been quite the comeback. Like you said, 10-5 OG. This is still a key round. Flames has grabbed a gun now with a 5-on-4 taken thanks to Nico's Deeg. Flames has no armor, but Nexa does with this saved M4 up in window. Dead in the ladder. Sicko's got the shot. Mantu spots him coming up B. He moves to more cover. Valde's been baited for pretty well. Mantu, that's a beautiful Deeg shot. He just needs to buy time now. The Abs player will not be clearing Valde in this position. As long as Mantu can stop Lias from getting too deep on short. Valde's waiting for his time to strike. And 20 seconds, Renegades running out of time, but trying to gain space instead. Valde gets cut. That's sickening. Lias follows up, and Nico can't get in the sight in time. It's only that one gun and not enough. Boosted up. Hats won't commit it. Flames is up Cat with a one tap, and now it's a 1v1. Flames needs to be pinpoint. Missed shots. Lias given a second chance and looking to hold on. The new boy on the block for Renegades has crossed behind the bench, and Flames doesn't know.
He's looking for him. He's trying to piece it together. Oh, he's seen the back, he's seen him, and he spams Lias out over at the bench. He's shut out of the round, and Flames wins it in the 1v2. That first tap, man, you got one chance to hit that. Really enough time to fire one burst at most, and he just obliterates them on the peak. At that point, he's fired up, right? He's been waiting to have a round again for a little while now. He might have started really strong, but other than that, you know, as we've moved into this CT side, normally from Flames, it's kind of felt like one and dones for the most part. So finally, he gets a chance to flex, gets a chance to have his moment in the limelight. And maybe that reactivates him, because that was a huge round for OG to win, to build any sort of momentum back into this game. They could have started to get in their heads, but that's what I mean, man. Like, you don't have many chances to win that fight. If you get spotted there and you miss that opportunity, they just play the 2v1 around not letting you in. That was everything. And once he gets the opener, once the ball's rolling, there's no stopping it.
Sick round out of Flames, saves the day, and I mean, that's after Renegades, you know, with 15 seconds walking into B, clear some very crazy positions to you know, get themselves in pole position to win that round. It's awkward for Lias. He gets timing a little bit, walking around the back of the site. 13-11 now. OG maybe with some more wind in their sails, with a reason to believe, with a bit of an eco win. Inns gets dunked. Sprayed down at top mid. Hats will die to Nico in the meantime. Nico's done a lot of damage in this round already. Even a nade in middle. One more would spell the end of Inns, but they won't throw it just yet. Renegades are looking for a refrag in mid, but only now does Nico move back in off of the catwalk. Window boost is going to have to come in for Renegades. It is nice cool. This is the one gap in the round which you don't have, but Nico finishes what he started earlier. Double kill in middle, and now no reason to play for it. They can lean back into the bomb site to start to consider flanks like these. Lias needs to find the right time. Walking out through the ramp smoke. Mantu pinned in. He's going to die. Nade comes flying through. Flames swinging off the stairs. He's ready to play off the back of Nexa. This is all if he doesn't get backstabbed, because Lias is on patrol.
And right now he's worried about Con. Oh, he tries to look back to jungle, but Lias a little bit faster, a little bit wiser. No! Oh, and through the wall bang. Nexa's knocked out as well. Lias maybe with a round-saving flank. In a 3-on-5, they've been able to deliver the goods. They've pulled it all the way back, and now just 2 left to beat. It's Valde, it's Nico. Valde, the big, heavy hitter, and Nico, the man who doubled up to start the round, now needs to help close it. In he comes, up close. Alistair dancing around the boxes, won't give them a thing. And Nico really can, but the ammo runs dry. The M4 falls silent, and Renegades come in with round number 12.
391 damage for Nico. What more can the man do on his own? They just won't give him a kill. Look at the way that Renegades dance round triple. They've done it twice now. It's how Liaz won the second round of this half on the force buy. Remember when he was getting pinned from CT and he just wouldn't give up the frags? Renegades post plants have been near immaculate with the exception of that 1v2 from Flames. Oh my goodness, OG, that was their first class ticket to lock out the map. Instead, they've been put back down to pistols. Mantu with a hero AWP getting boosted. He's gonna go mad. He hits a tag, but Inns will live yet again, starting around on 10 health.
Oh dear, they know you're here, and it's a slaughter down in the lower tunnel. Flashes go in, everyone's blind, it's chaos, but it's all to the benefit of Renegades. Liaz with yet another double, mate. No limits to this guy and what he's able to bring to the table. It's so refreshing to get these performances out of Liaz. It really is.
Oh, that molly would have... that molly would have killed Valde, absolutely. But it should be fine. If you're mollying it, you're thinking someone's there. So hopefully it's a clear. But Valde, he's very quick and he's very close with a one shot to the face. Oh, just about gonna slip through the fingers. Sicko will trade, but it's all fine and dandy right now for Renegades. Short's getting cleared from Inns. This will just be a 13th round. Mantu, poor guy. He got boosted and he only hit a tag. There's a second player at top mid to spot him. Without that, there could have been a very different round, but Renegades, decisive play as they often have been, to just maul OG out under. Next his gun, but Act is going to clean him up, and that's an equal game right now, 26 rounds deep.
Yeah, I mean, that round there is like such a good example of them being very, very good at responding to protocols. Like they consider that boost. They're holding it from top mid, and it's only because they even get that spot and start to like pressure Mantu that it forces the early commit to a fight that he didn't want to take. You know, he didn't want to attempt that opening shot. He wanted so much more out of that position. When they get forced into lower, Renegades are there, ready and waiting to shut down exactly that. And Mantu's going to try his luck again on the lower tunnels push.
Oh. God, Inns is just getting bullied in the middle. Stay away, my friend. 13-0. And you got to say, you know, the ending of Extremum, it was a bit sad at times, especially for players like Liaz and Grat. It felt like they didn't go out with a bang. They didn't end with a hot streak, but you know, while, you know, even Azza, we haven't really seen him since last year. Same story for Grat. Liaz, what a way to start 2022. It's not done yet, though. Oh, it's definitely not done yet. Mantu, hello, out under, with a plan, with a bit of vengeance. Triple kill. There's Alistair to find Flames, but Nico's going to offer assistance, and Mantu, he might not need no help. He's going to move back out of con. The smoke is actually really nice to get him out, but Sicko just spots him and stops him just in time.
Yeah, they weren't ready for a second player so deep down short, and Sicko's going to use this room to take a boatload of space, right? Wasn't content with just the trade onto Mantu. He knows he's got to give up more in the round. He's got to offer a lot more. And so wrapping the market, somehow that kill goes his way. Valde, second orb, turns his attention back around, and now Nexa's seen him getting out, but Sicko just evading capture, just being annoying, has put the seed of doubt in the mind of OG by eluding this CT player. They're having to go back and look for him, and while this is happening, Alistair walking into the B site. They've seen Sicko again, but what's more, he's out like a bandit, running amok, running away. Does he get out in time? Having a cross past the window is risky, and with Valde leaning this direction, he's just missed the timing again. Plant now in, one man in the site in Nexa. He's gotten a lot deeper than they're ready for. Sicko, if he swings short, he's dead. The bomb is not planted for him either. So Alistair needs needs to win this, and he will. Steals it away. Mantu started this round with 3 kills in the blink of an eye. This was a 2-on-5. And now, only Valder left, trying to stop what feels inevitable, what feels done, and he's got to save 14 for Renegades, and a hell of a round out of Sicko and Alistair to get them there.
You gotta love what you're getting right now out of Renegades, even if you're a fan of OG. This is just clinical Counter-Strike. Sicko and Liaz, the dastardly dangerous duo, the firepower squad. And in this round, Alistair helps out with the AWP as well, doubles up. And I love that. On top of all of that, you know, OG knew exactly what was going on. Nexus didn't fall for that double back from Sicko. He knew it was a fake into B. It's Mantu that gets drawn out of his bomb site that gives the room for Alistair to plant. Well, not Mantu, sorry, Valdir. Even so, just enough room given to post that plant, and Sicko coming in with a massive impact round, faking out the A site. Just a few seconds was all that he needed. Renegades, they have OG on their last legs right now. Mantu, what more can he do in a round like this? Not just 3, but he didn't even get traded. He lived. He escaped for a moment, of course. It was the cat chase for Sicko that started it all. And that is a mad round. OG with their last timeout.
Man, like, you know, we spoke about mind games earlier on. You were 10-5 up in the half. You were 10-5 up. You won the pistol. 11-5, right? You lose the anti-eco. You weren't worried yet. But now, you know, considering that this OG squad has really only had successes coming into 2022. They've fried bigger fish, but now they're the shrimp on the barbie in a Renegades world, right? Just the AWP here, passed on to Mantu. Some deagles, some armor around it to try and stop the coming tide of Aussie players, but is it gonna happen? 14-13 and Renegades, mate, they are pumped. They are believing in the victory. From 5-11 down to now, mate, they've made it this far. You don't give up before you get it over the line. And they're gonna be fighting every step of the way.
Yeah, Sicko and Liaz have 8 multi-kill rounds each. The only player even close is Valdi on the same number. No one else for OG. It's a very slow approach. It's a good change of pace. A lot of faster rounds, but this time they let the kills come to them. Liaz will find the first. Nico, he tries to poke his head in middle and he loses it. Fake out on B right now, just trying to draw rotates, but OG are pretty stuck, situated deep in the A site, and that's a clean kill as well. 1 by 1. This tower starts to crumble. OG starts to get crumbled. Sicko finishes off another. 3 opening kills for Renegades, and the AWP has not even been seen. Mantu, he still might get the play ending at B after all, but he's going to need a round somehow better than the last, and Alistair wins out that fight. He's been losing their heads-to-heads to Mantu, to be totally real, so that's a massive time to shut down the solo AWP, and Valdi's flank is negated. It is of no interest to this round. Renegades have found 15 almost certainly.
Yeah, for OG, mate, you know, they've banked everything on this next rifle round. They came into this knowing that the odds were going to be against them, right, and that the AWP had to do something. With it falling, you know, getting nothing done, it became very unlikely that they were ever going to win it. But this was kind of par for the course. This was almost what they expected, even though they would never admit that. They know that the rifles were going to come out up against 15 if it was going to go any which way. And they're going to have to do it by winning 2 in a row to take us to an overtime.
I wonder if we'll see a more aggressive round for OG in the next, right? Like something like a mid-take, try and put your AWPer in a better position to start off. Mantu, when he's had the AWP in aggressive spots, he's been able to deliver. Maybe get your heavy window drops, your con players to take top middle away from Renegades. If they go back to this speedy pace of their mid-takes, they certainly could get caught off from a couple of well-placed flashes over A.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, this kind of links into this idea of like, the comeback's already too far gone, I think, for you to want to try and get too aggressive, you know? Like, if this were still in the midst of Renegades pulling this back, like if this was 13-12, I think you would throw in something a little more aggressive, but no one, at least from how it's looked, wants to make that move, really. Yeah. You've had the Mantu lower drop, but even that round ended up eluding you, and I think at this point, you're kind of in your head, you're wanting to play safer, you're wanting to not give away openers, and in playing not to lose, you're up against a team that are playing for the victory, that are playing to complete the comeback. Next is mollied out. forcing the reposition out of him again from CT.
Ollies have been really good there. Mantu tried to start window Harry to look for an opening kill, but Renegades have cut him out of mid, and they've got ins out top boxes, as OG had Nico there many times. It's implying the A split, but Renegades aren't convinced yet. They're going to go back and check top. Maybe help out ins. He's calling for it. This is a top con smoke. It slows down. Renegades not getting ahead of themselves. I know this game is far from done. That smoke did get blocked. Flames might even have a little gap on the edge of things. Lines up a smoked shot. It's the A split after all. It's huge pressure on the captain's shoulders right now as the rest of his team stack up a ramp.
Oh, but Nico's tucked it short, mate. That's going to give some room to wins. And if he's fast with it, which it looks like he is, that could be good. Tech 9 opener. Mantu's AWP, it's only a tag. You need kills, you need killing blows. And there's Flames with one down in con. A 4-on-4 with damage done to Sicko. You've softened up one of the stars here. Is that going to save you? 20 seconds. That plant needs to come in, and nothing's available with no smokes down. They're at the full mercy of these connector peaks. 14 seconds, no choice but to plant CT, and Flames spammed it out. Alistair, 1v4, and falls at the hands of the AWP. So there's the response. OG keep themselves in this. They keep treading water, but they need one more to lock in an overtime.
Yeah, you see how quick that reaction is for OG. The second they realize that's just a con to A split, what Renegades have gotten away with so many times, they come off of B, they jump out window, and you saw how hard that angle was for Liaz to fight back in Sicko as well, right? He can't see the heads of the players coming up on the con stairs because there's a dead body, there's a ragdoll in the way. So Mantu's able to pop off. Or was it Valdez, or be the way? The B rotates. No, sorry, yeah, it was Valde. Mantu was back in CT. It was still enough. Stopping Renegades from getting the bomb even planted. Not the money's an issue. Renegades will have everything they need for round 30. And this is where, if you're Renegades, you got to be very careful. You suddenly give OG overtime, and that's when the experience will shine through. These guys have been in this position before. They know what's on the line. They don't want to be knocked to the lower bracket. 15-14. There's the cross shot. Alistair, these last couple of rounds, he's really come alive with opening picks, and that could mean everything.
Yeah, especially when, you know, like Mantu's been such a driving force behind OG, finding rounds, having chances. Now you want your AWPer to be doing the same, and Alistair's answered the call. Flames, a big scalp to find. He's been very good over towards connector, shutting down these A splits time and time again. So without him, OG are gonna have to find a new way to navigate this round. Renegades are not in a rush. They know the pressure's on OG.
Yeah, but no one's going to make a move here for OG. They can see it's a default still being held. Sicko's making sure there's no ramp wrap. But this does look like it will end in a B play. Liaz, climbs up, gets spotted. Valde, he's been played with right now. And I don't know if they see him back. It's so much easier with the AWP to know. But at least early info for Valde to call for help. He is right now alone on the B-bomb site, the top performer of OG. And it's a jump across the AWP, takes the angle, and Valde just leaves. That would have been the end of his life and maybe the end of this map. Now with the smoke in, there's still a chance. This lurk for Hats could cause commotion as OG is still stacked up on A, but Mantu will pick him back. And that was as the bomb was leaving. Renegades wanted to go play off that space. Now they have to just commit with no information back into A.
Yeah, that's brutal. You did not want to lose the lurk. It wasn't a fake being sold. That was a route to salvation. Burning is Nico. The molly forces him into Alistair's AWP. Mantu, CT, his AWP, and Nexa at ramp. They've got a crossfire. They've got a chance. 10 seconds. The bomb making it across, but it's denied. Plant still can come in. Ins tapping in the numbers, but it's denied by Nexa, and he's taken OG to overtime. 15-15, and Nexa will stand and deliver.
Yeah, they done told me to be myself. So when I went and found myself, the ones who told me back then be true to who I am ain't think we was really gonna win. Now they watching us from the sidelines while we trying to victories like we in high tides. I'm getting my prize. Only thing my eyes is locked in on. Have a milli mine. I want it right now. Don't waste my time. Family in a penthouse with a view sky high. Blood, sweat, and tears bring more to my eyes. Cause the whole gang winning. I done gave my life. Odds low, but we did it, ain't we? And we always move in, never on the same thing. Now our lives are highlight reel. We like the thrill. This life's ideal. The hype is real.
We know it. It's just the way we live. We own it. 'Cause that we love the thrill. We know it. It's just the way we live. We're grown-up kids.
Renegades are a long way from home right now, and OG are here to teach them a lesson. We go into overtime. Renegades first to hit 15 off the back of an 11-5 comeback on this T side, but this game is still raring on. OG. Second win, perhaps. We often say overtimes where the experience shows through. We'll see if Renegades have any more to show.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you can tell the pressure was really reaching a climax for Renegades, right?
Yeah.
Oh, they just wanted to get it over and done with, but now they're in no man's land. It's actually Sicko first to fall. The nade in mid proves to be misleading. Inns manages to live to fight another day. Out through ramp comes Hats. No longer lurking, no longer restricted to having to sell these fakes or coming on big backstabs. Instead, he's leading the charge, and Alistair's out with another.
And look at this
They're now leaving. They're gonna rejoin Inns, who was brought down low in middle. The guy that was never finished off the first time around is now gotten a bounty of information over towards B. Mantu at least gets here before he makes it to the site. Inns does not realize how much room they were given over towards B, and if he tries to cross now, he should be a dead man. A slowdown as Renegades full group in middle, with the exception of this apartments player looking for the short split. Mantu can have his work cut out for him. It starts with the apartment shore. He sees the barrel, he knows.
He might go to Cat, yeah. He could have taken the wallbang. That would have been a freebie for Mantu, but he wanted more. He wanted the swing. He wanted the safe and secure shot, and that left him open to middle. The one position OG had no info on. Mantu must have thought that Inns was waiting for his team up in the apartments, and that was not the case. That's a real confusion as to why Mantu wouldn't take the shot while he had it. But look at the result, Renegades. I love that change up, because you'll also notice, I was staring at the map while that A hit was coming down, and we had a double entry come out from Hats and Alistair up into the A site. You know, the whole time, Inns immediately reset B. Before they were even out ramp, he was heading B. Like, that was the plan for the get-go. You guys look for an A pick. We know we haven't done any fakes in 5-on-5s in this game, and so OG did fall for it completely, and Inns didn't even take all the space that he could have, right? He could have walked all the way into B. He didn't. He just stayed up, and that was enough room for Renegades to walk up Cat. Really good call in the mid-round there after things go pretty well on the A site. It would have been easy to convince yourself to, you know, keep going. But OG were fully rotated.
Mate, I'll be real as well. A part of me, it really does question. Like, I almost think Inns knew they were on him, right? Because Valdez scoped up, or Mantu rather, over towards the apartments, and he was looking into the wall at first, and then he looks out wide.
Yeah,
I never know.
I don't know why you would show your barrel.
It almost looked intentional to the point where it's like he's looking at me right now. He's not looking at Short.
Yeah, I feel like you can make that argument, but a lot of players will wallbang that kill, to be honest. Oh my god, they go for it again. Running out mid. Inns is waiting, but he's only good for one. Nico keeping middle under control, and Alistair backstabbed Valde. He never knew he got through the B Molotov. Nice space taken by the AWP, and now Nico moving back. He has also hit a timing. He has also found a gap, and he will backstab Alistair. Very low though. Liaz one shot order to do it. Nico here's the drop, but Liaz will stop him. Dead in his tracks now. Mantu sees not. He'll take the shot when he can, but this time it won't be as fortunate. The fingers move at the last second with a weapon switch. 2-on-2. Mantu moves in. This is a heroic play right now, and it might be what OG need.
Oh no, but Ramped, it doesn't fake him out. He continues just head on, looking in, and now the swing comes out from Mantu. They were not ready for that AWP up in their face. Liaz, top of the board, top of the server, looking to win a 1v2 to keep Renegades up in the lead. But it's a tricky one with them double set on the short side. Mantu still up close in the sight. He's not crumbled under the pressure yet, and now he knows where both players are, but Mantu's gonna lock it in.
That's such a feel-good round for Mantu, man. Like, he's had a lot of impact in lost rounds for OG, and it's got to feel really awful, you know, being the guy watching that barrel for so long and dying last round at the cat take. Oh my goodness, even with that missed shot to the van, that's a sick play out of Mantu. And OG, okay, they go for two very aggressive rounds in middle. I don't think they can run back for it, but hopefully we see the anchors hold down a little more, right? We keep seeing them over-rotate out of the B bomb site in both these last two rounds, so Renegades have been taking that gap. They might even just go back to something standard, go back to this A-con split that was working well in regulation. Valde won't have the second AWP this time around. Could afford it. Decides against. And here we go. Last one of the T side. That's where the bulk of the rounds will come from for both teams, of course. Alistair. Positive score now. He's definitely picked it up in the last few of Reg. But wide on ramp Nexa. Absolutely tucked in at ramp, and Alistair is not ready for this. He also shouldn't be moving in aggressively. Oh dear, he's going to, and he won't play the corner freebie for Nexa. Still a default round out of Renegades, and an early kill for OG is going to give them a sigh of relief.
Yeah, Bomb's still in T-spawn as well, so Sicko's going to have to give up this palace control to go and get that. Now grouping in middle, gonna throw Liaz by the looks up into window. I tell you what, you know, after spending so much time with the 100 Thieves squad, mate, the little window boost, it's a bit of a signature one for those guys, right? And as a classic, and so Liaz should feel comfortable, should know what his options are here.
Yeah, usually the booster, now the boostee. Nexa's gonna get trapped again. These mollies have been wrecking him back in CT. He will just escape the flames, but holding CT is Nico, cutting down that rotate. Now you know exactly where this play is ending up. 30 seconds. Nexa double stuck under. They have two mollies though. They're bailing. 30 seconds. This is a fake out. Now, I think OG hear the run back there. They might just. It's not like Renegades had time to waste. They're gonna head towards B very quickly. Mantu sort of giving it up, but it's okay. He has no teammates for support. Even Lineker is massive, and there's the backstab. Flame stopping Sicko, making his way to the apartments. There's no question about it. Mantu, this should be a nailer. Easy kill. One more man. Even with a plant, it's going to be denied by Nico, and that is OG 17-16, staying alive on the CT side.
Yeah, up in the lead now, right? We get to OT. It's a very different game. And Renegades are learning that the hard way. It was over on this CT half that they were only able to salvage that 5-round CT side, so this is where they've got to pick it up.
Yeah, I like how OG in both those OT rounds, I was wondering if they do it in round 30, but you said rightly, there's just too much pressure. When the pressure's off and you have more room, they went for these super aggressive rounds, rushing up top, middle. I don't know if Renegades are going to have that confidence to do that on the CT side into what was, you know, the start, very slow defaulting T side for OG, but they go back to what worked near the end of Reg, and those were those quick splits. yet again. Yaz almost getting caught with a nade out. Nexa takes ladder, and he is this insurance policy for the late round. If they can get this triple plant, Nexa can win it all for OG.
If Nexa finds impact here, that's now in these last 2 rounds. He's hit these impeccable timings. Watched angles for Renegades. Still find space to still create room, but instead, Hats keeps it aware. Turns on a dime and deals with the man over in ladder. Now set up in jungle, he spots the full extent of this execute. They know it's the A play. Flames has moved up to take jungle away from Renegades, trying to shut down some of these avenues on the retake. Mantu even looking for a CT fight. Now a flash would wreck him here. And there it is going up and over. That's going to send him off the angle. More flashes where that came from. So much utility for Renegades to make this happen. The molly a little shallow to burn the air out. And Flame sends Alistair into the sun, mate. Backflips out of the round. And there it is, sticking the landing is OG. 18 to their name. And they're now the ones up on match point.
Yeah, that is the experience, or maybe lack of there for Renegades. I don't know if that's Hats' decision or if it's a call from the in-game leader, but they move out of jungle and set up for a full CT retake. However, with Nexa dead on ladder, the only open plant was for ramp and jungle. That's where Flames takes. They go for the reverse default plant with that front sight smoke. The OG were running all reg long, and they just have so much more room to play the post plant. You see, without window, what that does to Renegades. The Orb getting killed, jumping up. The full CT retake into an AWP. It was perfect. Nexa, the man who's been getting burnt out, will do it right back. Sicko, the heavy hitter, dead. It's going to be a B rush popping out. The bomb's out, and there's no failing now. Hats makes up for a double kill on the defense. He was alone, and he might be all that could stand rather. Alistair in a 1v3. Ready to shut it out, and so they will. 19 to 16. They survive the tide of Renegades. It looked like an upset was coming, but once we hit overtime, OG keep it clean.